Hello there, sensation seekers. Well, when I posted that video last week, I expected that it was going to cause a lot of people to be very, very surprised, maybe even a little bit confused. What I did not expect is for people to be so happy and supportive and to leave so many very nice comments. So thank you. Well, let's do that. Let's do this again. So this is going to be just a little recap. I've literally have just closed the Zoom window on MacBreak Weekly 978. Actually, I don't even need these headphones anymore, do I? So we start off by talking about the possibility of Apple buying Perplexity AI. Whenever a rumor like this pops up, it's possible that Apple is seriously considering buying Perplexity AI. It's also very possible that somebody owns a boatload of Perplexity and they kind of want that valuation to go. So, okay, don't know whether Apple's going to buy it or not. It's interesting. First of all, it's $14 billion. That would be, I think, something like uh, Beats cost about $2 or $3 billion. So that would outweigh it by an immense stretch. There's also the question of what could Perplexity give Apple that they can't grow on their own over the next 2 or 3 years, and why would they necessarily need to acquire this immediately? Because Apple is not in the same boat as Microsoft is, as Google is, as OpenAI are. All they're trying to do is add features to their phone to make people want to keep buying their hardware. They don't have to become titans of AI. Apple released a video. This is about the time where people who are going to college need to start spending money on hardware. So Apple decided, hey, let's convince incoming college students to buy Macs right now. They released, I think it was a 7-minute video called the Parent Presentation, in which somebody from Please Don't Destroy, the group, he's also on Saturday Night Live, played the part of someone who's giving a presentation on stage to an auditorium full of high school students, coaching them on how to get their parents to buy them a MacBook. This was accompanied by, not joking here, the presentation that he gave, you could actually download it as a keynote presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, or a Google Slides presentation, and little slots of, oh, well, at the next slide, put in your name here and put your picture right here. On the next slide, here, oh, here's the place where you put in whatever your major is going to be. Put that right there. Uh, this is why I'm grateful for terms like cringe, which didn't really exist when I was in my teens, because yeah, I don't know, it's tone deaf, it's silly, it's adults trying to look cool in front of younger people, which is never a good look. It's also kind of creepy for Apple to be cajoling minors into talking their parents into making a $2,000 or $1,000 purchase on their behalf. Okay, but so it got pulled down after just a few days. It's got wiped off YouTube, got wiped off social media. You can no longer download the presentation deck that you're supposed to use to convince your parents about all this. Uh, Alex Lindsay made the suggestion that maybe this was Apple's plan to begin with, that they always planned to put this out there and then then take it all down dramatically without telling anybody, and basically create this viral moment. I'm not 100% sure that this is what they actually did, because I don't know. They could have done it in a much less lame fashion. Now there's a brand new version of the dev beta of iOS and whatever OS 26 and Tahoe. These developer betas, which again is not the public beta, it's not intended for the public. It really is just intended for developers. The first dev release that they put out at WWDC is always singular and interesting because it's what I think of as the monkey house release. There's the saying from Project Runway that you have no idea how stinky this work is because you've been living with it so long. And the first time someone who does not live in the monkey house walks into the monkey house, they say, "Phew, what was that?" So this first dev release is the first release that gets seen by people outside of Apple. Then that's the first time that people say, "Wow, I can see where you're trying to go with this liquid glass thing, but it is way too hard to read." So the dev beta 2, you see them rolling a bunch of stuff back, which was completely expected. This is not an embarrassment for Apple. It's not that they made a mistake. It's not until the public beta comes out that we can start to judge it as a nearly a complete thing as an actual statement that Apple is making. Right now, it's still something that Apple's working on, so no one should be really complaining and saying, "Oh gosh, what a wonderful, what a horrible, horrible, horrible experience Apple has inflicted on people." We have invited this bad experience upon ourselves collectively. And I could make a political comparison here, but I am not going to do so. My God, I'm having so much fun. Adobe uh, researchers created this new app, a photo app, experimental photo app. Uh, hey, look, it's me with me. Huh. Uh, 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 Called Project Indigo. And it is a intensely computational photo app created by arguably the Stanford professor who invented computational photography. He's the guy. Joined by the one of the leads on the Pixel camera team. I've always had a preference for the way that my Pixel camera handles pictures over the iPhone, and those two chief people left Google and became research people at Adobe. And this app, it is there's a research paper that's attached to it, very very readable, but explains what a wonderful set of thinking and goals and ideals go into this. And the half of the paper is all about here are why they don't say iPhone photos, but here's why iPhone photos look like smartphone pictures. What they were trying to accomplish with this is to create things that would come out of an SLR. This is still a great app for just, hey, look, there's a dog with a hat on. Hey, the dog with a hat on, smile. Hey, look, I got a picture of a dog with a hat on it. Yay, and I'm going to send it to my friends. It's good for that, but it's also good for people who are kind of want to do serious photography, who enjoy the process of photography. I've been shooting with this like for an entire week. Ostensibly, I've been carrying my iPhone with me alongside my Pixel phone because I'm testing out the new iOS. But it's at least 75% now because I really want to see what this camera app can do. Once again, thank you so much for. Again, I was very touched and surprised by the response that when my I started getting alerts from YouTube on my phone. It's like, hey, someone commented and they said something nice. Hey, look, someone commented and they said something nice. Nice. Hope you enjoyed the show, the actual show. As usual, I'll have links to where you can listen to the podcast and watch the video edition once again in the comments. And have a great afternoon. It is super hot. Hope you're not in New England right now because New England's great, but today's not a great day to be in New England. Okay, bye bye.